Hello, everyone, and welcome to MZN Sports, where runners get tackled,
wrestlers get slammed,
and no balls under the sun get dunked on. I'm your man Dupree, and across from me is my esteemed co-host and colleague Carlton. How you feeling today, brother?
Honestly, I'm feeling a little unsatisfied, and you would be too if you watched AEW Revolution.
Unfortunately, that I did.
Oh man, I mean, Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega, they worked us all night long, only to pull out right before the climax, if you know what I mean.
Whoa, buddy, whoa.
Pause. But in all seriousness, I mean, it was an amazing match that gained a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons and a lot of hate because their death match, for as good as it was, that finish, man, it just got ruined by faulty pyrotechnics. So I feel bad for those guys, you know.
Do you think that was actually faulty or planned?
I do believe that it was faulty and that they had to pivot storyline-wise, but kudos to them for coming up with a great way to explain it. But more on wrestling later. Mm-hmm. Let's jump into our normal, routine of things.
That's right. See, it's time to get to work, baby. All right, first, with the NFL. There are about 1,000 different possibilities that we could have with the off draft coming up. We do have a lot of trades possibly going on right now, a lot of contract negotiations. The issue in Houston with Deshaun Watson, he's trying to get out of it bad. He's trying to pull a James Harden move. Unfortunately, got Cam Newton being re-signed with the Patriots, but hopefully he'll get a chance to, show a little bit of skill. Bill Belichick's not going to give him any excuses not to, because he definitely emptied the bank. When it came to drafting.
Threw every dollar at
him. But I thought I'd be remiss to not first bring up and celebrate the living legend known as Drew Brees.
Yes.
At the service in both New Orleans and the New Orleans Saints organization for 15 years. He is a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback. Trust me, that is that is undisputed. He has officially announced his retirement via Instagram post, where he had this to say. After 20 years as a player in the NFL and 15 years as a Saint, it is time I retire from the game of football. Each day I poured my heart and soul into being your quarterback. Till the very end, I exhausted myself to give everything I had to the Saints organization and the great city of New Orleans. We shared some amazing moments together, many of which are emblazoned in our hearts and minds and will forever be a part of us. You have molded me, strengthened me, inspired me, and given me a lifetime of memories. My goal for the last 15 years was striving to give you everything you have given me and more. I am only retiring from playing football and not retiring from New Orleans, though. This is not a goodbye, but rather a new beginning. Now my life's real work begins.
Beautifully said. And now the Saints will have a major slot to fill as Drew Brees leaves his mark on the NFL. And I mean, he's a legend. He's retiring with 5 All-Pro honors.
That's right.
2 Offensive Player of the Year awards. Both a Super Bowl championship and Super Bowl MVP.
That's right.
And as the NFL's all-time leader in career passing yards, completions, and completion percent. I mean, the man does everything.
And the man is your average size. He's no bigger than you or me, honestly.
True.
His arm scale is not that far great in power. His leg work is not that great. People have said it. He's admitted that himself. He's showing you with average body work. As long as the mental game is there, you can get done.
It's all understanding the game, love of the game, and technique.
Congratulations, Drew. And we're definitely looking forward to what you do next. With that being said, there's a current top 5 quarterback looking to get out of Houston and looking for greener pastures and turf by the name Deshaun Watson. It'll be interesting to see if the Saints organization will try to pick him up. We also have the GOAT, Tom Brady, looking towards a Super Bowl win of 8. All right? But without any tribulations, as he's looking to miss yet another offseason because he's trying to nurse an injury right now. It happens to be a left knee injury. It's been staggering him for the last few months, which as now doesn't have Brady posted to return until maybe even June. At least that's what his coach, Bruce Arians, says. We'll take his word for it. You know how that goes. But even with all that said, I have no doubt we'll still be seeing Tampa Bay in the playoffs this season.
I'm with you on that.
Now, what's up with the NBA, C? Tell me what's going on. What's with that Brooklyn ball?
Well, if you were with us last episode when we discussed our predictions for the NBA postseason, I'm happy to report that our projections were pretty spot on.
I'll be looking good.
Yes.
Good.
The Brooklyn Nets have taken the top spot in the power rankings as of this recording, dropping the Utah Jazz down to number 2. And our pick for the best of the West, the Los Angeles Lakers, are constantly and consistently sitting at the number 4 spot. We may be seeing that BK versus LA finals that we were talking about.
But how about that Blake Griffin trade Brooklyn just got? I know you got something to say. I know you got something for this.
I just want to see what he does. You know, he's got these, you know, teammates that he has to blend with. He's got this new coach that he has to adjust to. And playing in a new city is always a little bit different. You know,
Absolutely.
Training in that new city, getting used to the environment and the fans and how, you know, social media affects your mentality during the game. New York is
New York media ain't no joke.
It ain't no joke.
I mean, if you ever been here, even for just 3 months, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But sadly, it's not all good news in the NBA.
True.
But we're going to get right to it. That's what we do. With all this talk about seeding, I heard the NBA might be looking to divide the division, sort of like they do at the NFL. Hopefully they don't do that. Hopefully they really don't.
I don't know if I'm a fan of it. The NBA has been around a long time, and, you know, sometimes a little change is good. A little shake up to, you know, the flow of things is good. They've done drastic changes such as, you know, how many games, you know, were played during the main season before going to the, like that was a big change for some people.
Yeah, definitely give them a load off of working their bodies too.
Yeah, so I mean, it may be positive. We'll have to see. But also, in some saddening news.
I read about this last night.
Yeah, me too. So, if you guys didn't know, former Dallas Mavericks center Sean Bradley. Oh man, he was paralyzed after a biking accident. While this actually happened in January, the accident, word just got out, you know, recently on social media, mostly because he had a spinal fusion surgery, and I think he's doing like 8 weeks of rehab.
Yeah.
So, I hope he, you know, gets better. I hope he gets well soon. And also, you know, if he's a name that's unfamiliar to you because maybe you're a younger fan of the NBA, he was the number 2 overall pick in the 1993 NBA draft. And he originally was drafted to the 76ers, but he spent most of his career with the Dallas Mavericks.
And he's been putting in work ever since.
Right.
You know, it's one of those low-key, under-the-radar kind of guys who get you to points and you don't even remember how he did it, when he did it.
Fundamentals.
Ah, man, that's rough. I've been noticing an influx of injuries throughout the past few years in the NBA. Actually, within all athletic sports of the major leagues.
True.
Hopefully there's nothing medically related there as we're trying to advance in science. We do wish him and all others a speedy recovery. Hope you guys get back to the game. Now, with it being the month of honoring the greatest achievements throughout women's history, what a wonderful distinction it is to have your name as a female superstar in wrestling today, and I mean throughout all of wrestling, to be the first 2 women of color to headline a main event at WrestleMania.
You never thought you'd see the day.
This accolade belongs to, you already heard it here from us before, 1, the EST, Bianca Belair, and a legit boss, our current SmackDown WWE Women's Champion, Sasha Banks. Who you got out of these 2, my man?
That's not an easy one. Knowing WWE, they'll probably keep it on Sasha. You know, they'll probably keep it on Sasha for name value. But I would hope to see Bianca, you know, hold her first championship, and hopefully she doesn't get buried. Also on the card for Mania 2021, we have the Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns defending against the 2021 Men's Royal Rumble winner, the returning Edge.
I hate to say it. Actually, I don't. My vote's for Roman, a.k.a. the Tribal Chief, the head of the table. All right? I mean, his storyline is epic right now. He's doing better than... I think this is what they wish they could have done with Brock Lesnar when they first got him back. But unfortunately, with him running that rules on the contract and his other endeavors, couldn't do it.
First of all, nobody was going to love Brock like that simply because he ended the streak. We all know how we felt about that.
He's hot right now, though.
Yeah, hot right now.
But if he does lose it, he'll definitely get it back by the next pay-per-view, I believe.
Roman?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? To be honest, I think I'm going Roman too.
Okay.
But mainly off the strength that Edge's legacy is set. And I do feel that Roman is doing some of his best work character-wise. He's probably pulling some of the best ratings, probably, you know, doing numbers in merchandise. So there's no reason to, you know, ruin Roman's heel run. You know, keep the belt on him, keep the streak going for him right now. All these multiple victories back-to-back in pay-per-view. And hopefully we can build on what we already have. I feel like if Edge wins the championship, especially at WrestleMania, we'll be taking a step back. No offense to Edge. I love Edge. I was born in 1990. I've seen his whole career. But
definitely a legend.
Yes, definitely a legend. But he doesn't need it.
Let me ask you this. You think it would be any sense to have the man come back for this historic one, which is kind of like his 1.5 return, because he returned, honestly, let's say, at the previous year, Royal Rumble.
Yeah, right.
Now he comes back. He has the match that was dubbed the greatest match in all of wrestling. All right, to find out who the greatest wrestler was going to be between him and Randy Orton. We all know how that played out. Anyone who's a fan of it, you think that would be just a waste to not have him come back and gain any kind of WWE championship?
I'm not saying he can't win a championship. I just don't think it needs to be the top championship. I'm not even saying Roman needs to beat him clean. I'm not saying that, it needs to be a decisive victory. I'm just saying that at the end of the match, Roman should still be champion.
So where do you see Edge going to get the WWE Championship on Raw eventually, or maybe even the NXT title? What are you thinking? I want to hear it first today. I've got this on camera. The people are going to hear it. I want to hear it from your mouth.
I think, actually, Edge needs to elevate the Intercontinental Championship. I feel like it's such a beloved title that has lost so much momentum and so much meaning over the years that maybe it would take a legend like Edge to bring it back from the ashes. I'm not saying that Edge can't win a championship. I just don't think he needs to win the top prize. I think, actually, Edge would do a great job to elevate the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm not saying that Big E isn't doing great work. Love Big E. But maybe there's something there feud-wise or storyline-wise that can elevate Big E as a performer while also building up the Intercontinental Championship so it means what it's really supposed to.
You know what? In that same category, I see Seth playing around, so I wouldn't mind to see an Edge versus Seth Rollins match.
And that would be magical. That'd be awesome. Now, speaking of Edge versus Roman, I think for the finish, we have yet to see Jimmy's return from injury.
No, actually, no, not yet.
We haven't seen it. So I think a reunion between Jimmy and Jay, and they run in and they help that tribal chief, that would be a nice finish for me.
You know what? I second that. I like that idea.
All right, we'll see. Vince, book it. We'll see.
All right, pay this man royalties, okay? Just a little something off the top. But we do have AEW. We got some news there too. We ain't hold out on you guys.
True. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Moxley, that botched finish was horrendous. But we did get some interesting storyline development. His friendship with Eddie Kingston has been reconnected. They have reunited, and they did an awesome promo that covered that failed explosion.
They did.
Kenny Omega is facing the Impact champion, Rich Swann.
Yes, I love that guy.
I'm excited for that, and I love Swann. I've actually hung out with him before, when he did an indie show here in New York.
I loved him when he was in WWE. I love that little run.
But I'm telling you, Kenny is coming for the belt. He's coming to collect. He's cleaning up.
They also did sign Big Show, as well as Christian.
Yes.
Christian Cage.
Christian Cage.
All right, put some respect on the man's name.
Copyright.
I'm excited to see how they elevate the product with them there. I want to see if Paul White, a.k.a. The Big Show, is going to have more of an in-ring talent or more of behind-the-scenes talent, where he gives us intel. It's nice to see what he does with that.
True. And lastly, in wrestling, I would like to congratulate Team Taz and Sting and Darby Allin for putting on, in my opinion, my humble opinion, one of the best cinematic style matches that I've seen in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they did good, man.
Very, very good. I think it's something to be proud of, and knowing that Darby, a dropout film student, was able to put that passion and those skills to use to create something that for me was like a merging of AEW and The Purge. I gotta give him the props. Man.
You know what? That's a good comparison. I couldn't find one myself. That was a good one. Before we go, it is Women's History Month, and we like to shine light on Sarah Thomas. At this year's big Super Bowl game, she was the first woman in history to officiate a Super Bowl game ever. You hear me? That's a big accomplishment on its own.
Love to see that our leaders in the sports world are taking a step in the right direction.
Yes.
And that women such as Sarah Thomas continue to grind and believe that there's more, that we could all accomplish.
Congratulations,
Sarah.
So that'll do it for today's MZN Sports. We got some heavy bets coming in on the next episode.
Y'all gonna see what happens.
Be sure to tune in, because I'm definitely trying to win out here. All right, you know what I mean? See who loses. Tune in to see who loses. Back over to the studio to email.